the statement and we'll take questions from there. Thank you. MEC, over to you.
Thank you so much, Opa. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for responding positively to our request. We just want, because we are now halfway, the critical 12th of June midnight cutoff, we felt we should give you an update. We must not only give an update when the system crashes, even when it functions, we must give you an update, isn't it? So that we can have an idea where we are, and we can also share your experiences if there's some experiences that we've picked up that we want to bring to our attention. Just to declare that we open our admissions, and we are closing on the 12th of June, midnight, where it will be just a final cut-off. There is no intention to extend. There are one or two things that we want to bring to our attention, that is our worry. To date, we've managed to enroll almost 200 or receive application from 229,828, 229,828, almost 230,000 applications that we've received. Of this, the larger amount, that is 125, is grade 1, and 104 is grade 8. We want to thank parents that utilize this format. We believe that it has given us really something that we'll be in a position to work on and ensure that we can plan appropriately as the department. We can confirm that 45,000 parents used our walk-in centers. We've got 81 walk-in centers across the province, and we assisted them to apply online. So of the 229,828 applications that we received, 45,000 are parents that didn't have access to the internet, or they didn't know how to use the online admission system. They felt that they should utilize our walk-in centers, and then we're in a position to provide that assistance. Naturally, there are schools that we have to announce that they are officially closed. That means they are officially off from our online registration because of the huge numbers these schools have attracted, and we have no choice but now to declare these schools as full, and also to advise parents, those that are still intending to apply, that they must not even press that button of these schools, because these schools are literally full, and I'm going to use the regions to name those particular schools. In Ekurhuleni, the foreign schools are full. They cannot take. People can still apply because they are right if they're closed and rather, but the reality is that the chances of them getting space is zero, because these schools are full already. In Ekurhuleni is Benoni High School, Boxburg High School, and Alberton High School. So those three schools, they've reached their number. Some of the schools actually, the numbers that they've accepted more than what is allocated. They've received more than 1,000 to 1,500 applications. So you can have a school with a total roll of 900 learners, and we've got 1,000 people that are applying for one grade, but the overall population of the school is almost 900. So that's the difficulty. In Tshwane, that is Pretoria, the foreign schools are full. That's Pretoria High Schools for girls, Laer Schools, Acacia, War School, Acacia, and War School, Gerrit Marets. Those schools are a no-go area in terms of parents that wants to enroll in the Tshwane area. In Johannesburg, the foreign schools are full as well. It's Mondio High School, Sir John Adams High School, War School President, and Northcliffe High School. That's Mondio High School, Sir John Adams High School, War School President, and Northcliffe High School. Those are the schools that we would like to encourage parents to avoid, unless if it's an emergency of some sort that we need to attend. But where we stand and with the arrangement that they've placed, it will it's going to be very, very difficult for any parent to believe that they can have an admission or their learners in those particular schools. There are 391 schools with less than 100 applications. And this, to us, we are taking it very, very serious. If you've got 391 schools where less than 100 parents have applied, it means there's something wrong in those schools. And that's the importance of the online registration. It means parents have decided to vote with their feet. They've decided to vote with their children, that they are not taking their children in these 391 schools. And it's something that worries us big time. But in other areas, we know why, especially in the townships. In the townships, very, very difficult to pull the large numbers of learners data. But the 391 schools that are part of our system, we are very, very concerned as a department. But there are also additionally 249 schools where less than 50 parents applied to take their children in those schools. So 249 schools, they've got less than 50 applications. And there are 204 schools that have less than 25 applications. And 58 schools where only 10 parents applied. So, as a department, we just want to urge parents that are still waiting to apply, to say the 12th of June midnight cutoff is non-negotiable. Because it will allow us now to start to place learners that have applied. As we've indicated, the schools that are chock-a-block, so we have to migrate learners to areas where the applications are not that much, and this will create problems. So from the 24th of July, we are now starting to place everyone who has applied on time. So any parent that has applied, they must know, they must watch that cell phone. On the 24th from July, we'll then start to get all the relevant SMSs and messages, emails from us. And we'll be in a position to start the placement and ensure that all those that applied on time are given. Remember, priority is given to those that qualify in terms of waiting list A. Waiting list A is those that are within the radius of the school, and then if there's still space, then we'll go to waiting list B to populate waiting list A. But we also urge parents, because some of the schools could not be picked up earlier, those that have got documents, and that's the purpose of, say, when you take documents to the schools, those documents will give us an idea whether indeed it should have been waiting list A or waiting list B. So it's a very important process that we want to register and indicate. Our district offices are still working very well in terms of ensuring that this process is finalized and that everything is concluded. So the district will finalize their placement between 11th August and 20 September 2017. So all our district, by the end of September, would have finished everything. So we'll be dealing with what we called appeals or inquiries if parents feel that they've been placed at a very wrong school, or they don't want that school, or they don't want to be placed. So we are urging parents, especially those that are in the township, that even if you don't have access, our walk-in centers must assist you to enroll your child, or you can go to a nearest school and then they'll be in a position to show you how to enroll your child. But overall, as a department, we are thrilled and excited that this process is a success. We've indicated that other provinces that have approached us that also wants to broaden this online registration, and we've indicated to those provinces it's free of charge because we've done it in-house, so it's not owned by a certain company or somebody who claimed will take us to court because we've stolen the idea. So it's owned by the department. So we can give each and every province on a CD if they want to expand on this process. So that's how we want to deal with this issue of online registration. On a separate issue, I think you might be aware that we are starting the Child Protection Week with learners within our schooling environment. Unfortunately, there are incidents that are harming our children within the schooling environment, and we want to urge parents across the education system, please know where your child is. The numbers of learners that are missing within the schooling environment is really disturbing. And if parents can also arrange that if their children are to be picked up by a different person, please alert the school. Because it's very, very difficult for, say, school to know who's the appropriate parent. You might find that a parent who is not staying with the child will want to go and pick up the child at school, only to find that there are domestic problems with the parents, and we don't know, and this creates problems. So we really want to ensure that our children are not harmed, and they can be in a position to deal with other issues that we have. We have also been approached by some of the publications. I'm told there is an online or social, on the social network, there is a what do you call that thing, Steve, where some learners, I'm told, are making love inside the classroom. I was trying to check which school is that one. It's on Facebook. So we're working very hard as a department to trace those learners that are there. But we want to urge people, if you promote distribution of that thing, it's against the law. And we've been advised that you can't just see two children making love in a class and be excited and distribute it to your friends. There are laws that manages this kind of thing. So I'm told the team has identified that the school is in Soweto. Our team has been assigned to deal with those kind of matters. We've also been asked by Parliament, and I think OPA has issued a statement as well. There is a number of children that are taking teachers within the schooling environment. We've got, OPA will give you those statistics, how they are increasing. It's something that we're very worried. You can't have children that are taking teachers inside the classrooms. And those number of reported cases, we've given them to the National Ministry so that they can respond to the question. But it's a cause for concern that children, instead of listening and respecting adults, they are the ones that are taking adults within our schooling environment. But we've got a zero tolerance to such things. So any learner that touches a teacher, that learner will walk. Simple. Because, I mean, if you are taking a teacher, it means you don't want to be taught, basically. So why should we keep you within the schooling environment? So learners must be aware. I'm meeting the leadership of COSAS immediately after this briefing. It's some of the issues that I want to deposit into my meeting with them, that they must tell their members to hold the force and respect educators. If they don't, we have no choice, but we'll take drastic actions. And because discipline and respect is non-negotiable within our schooling environment. So we can work around these things. Our children are now in the middle of their mid-year exams before they close for the second term. We are quite excited as the department that thus far our support programs to our learners across the system is yielding the necessary dividends. We'll come to give you the figures about the number of learners that are going to register for the matric results. We've seen a sudden increase of those numbers, and especially in subjects that we thought were difficult subjects, like mathematics. So we're quite excited that there is that huge interest of learners to do well and to perform. So we want to wish them well as they are currently engaged in the mid-year exams. And then those exams are very important to us. They are just an indicator of how the education system is functioning and the things that we work. We've just had a session. We're hosting the Minister of Education from Finland. Quite excited about our work in the ICT world. You know, Finland is one of the countries that are high or advanced in terms of ICT and other work. So for them to come to Gauteng and other provinces just to observe how we're enrolling our ICT work, it's an encouragement and that teacher development program. So we would like to thank the Finnish government for working with us and also ensuring that as a province we succeed in whatever that we do. I want to leave it there, Opa. If there are questions,
okay, thank you, MC.
We are ready to take those questions.
Yeah. HOD, you want to add anything? Okay, sure. Can I take 3 hands, your name, your organization, and then anybody wants to ask a question?
There are no questions over.
Yes, Mia?
Yana Miki from Eyewitness News. If you have to compare it, I know that this is now officially the first year that it's running smoothly.
Yeah.
But if you have to compare it with the previous year, how would you say how far, so far, how is it going? And then, how would you rate the process so far? Would you recommend it maybe for other provinces?
Well, we are now expanding it to all grades now. You'll recall that we're doing grade 1 and 8. So we are now expanding it to all the grades because we are confident we can carry the entire education system within the province. But other grades are just in-house movements, so they're not that major. If you check with last year, the success is that we are halfway. We are already above last year's figures by 29,000, and we are halfway. So the figures that we're sharing with, by last year, we were dealing with those figures as an overall figure within the system. But the mere fact that we're already halfway and we are above the last year's figures, it's an encouragement. But to be quite frank, I think I must thank our team. They prepared. They didn't want the same problems that we had last year because mainly we had a problem where SGBs didn't believe that we can deal with this issue. So they didn't give us the support we needed. But now, because they knew that we were resolute and we were going ahead, they started to make some constructive comments of the improvement of the system. I mean, there's still 1 or 2 things that we still have to improve on. Especially, if you check the numbers in the township, it's quite clear that either majority of foreign parents that are not South Africans are reluctant to come forward because there are no documentation that will allow them to be in the system. And majority of them are enrolling their children in the townships. And that's a major, major, major problem. We're working with the Department of Home Affairs. So we need to find a way of dealing with that aspect. Because in the absence of a formal way of dealing with it, because we are also operating within a constitutional state, so you don't just allow anyone just to come in. We need to get permission to deal with it. But I'm excited, I'm thrilled that we have managed to have an online registration that we can allow the broader education system to grow. Gone are the days where, and this year was the first time, where, because every time we have to allocate budget to school, we must go to school and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, every class, 1, 2. So it creates problems. Now we can, on the press of a button, we know how many students are within the education system, and then we can allocate budgets for that. So we're quite excited with the work. I think, obviously, if there's no surge towards the 12th of June, we believe that we've covered lost ground. We need to start just to place learners within the it's going to be difficult, let me be honest. Actually, it's going to be war, if I have to use that way. Because those parents that wants to go to Pretoria High School for girls, for example, because that school probably can take, say, 300 additional grade 8, and we've got 1,500 parents that have already applied. Don't expect the 1,300 that will not get access there to fold their arms and say, we've accepted, we've lost. It's like Lotto now, and we're entering that stage where whoever is lucky, they've gone through. But we'll use legislation to the latter. We're not going to circumvent legislation for people. So we'll place people that qualify first and appropriately qualifies. Whether your child is a child of a top business person or a top politician or a top soccer player, it doesn't count. I agree with you.
No.
Yeah. Because I know my friends in the soccer fraternity, they will say, I support Mroka Swallows, can my child be there? No, it's not about that aspect. It's about following the law to the latter, and then we'll do the things. Maybe to give you another feedback, which is encouraging to us, you'll recall when we met with you last time, we said we're going to the Constitutional Court to ask for an extension of the feeder zone. So we've been formally granted that extension by the Constitutional Court. So we are quite convinced, therefore, next year the feeder zone system will change drastically now, completely. So this is the last year, so parents that will complain that they've been excluded out of the education system purely because they stay outside the feeder zone. I want to say this is the last time that we have to swallow that pill, unfortunately. From next year, we'll be in a position to deal. Now that we've got the formal approval from the Constitutional Court, the team that is working on consultation will start to consult the SGBs and the schools. Yeah.
Okay. That was my
Okay.
question.
So you anticipated the MEC. Yeah. If there are no questions, MEC is going to have to run. He has another engagement in the legislature. Stephanie? Yes, that we can deal with on the side. But anything related to the statement. Distract MEC. We made a deal with SABC. Nia, you want a follow-up? And then that will be the end.
Just some clarity with regards to you said that you are going to roll this online admission out to all the other grades.
Yes.
Would that be from next year? I just need some more details with regards to how that's going to work, and will it only be from next year, when the same for grade 1 and 8 start?
Yeah, we're commissioning the team to look at that possibility. They will indicate to us whether it's a possibility, but we've given that instruction. Roll it out completely so that the entire education system should be online. Because remember, the education system is the cost driver is numbers. So if you can't get the numbers right, the entire education system is wrong. There are some schools we know, and the system has already assisted us to pick them up, that they borrow each other learners, because there are some principals, for them to get a certain salary bracket, you have to have a certain number of learners. So you find that a learner that's supposed to be in these schools is registered in the other school, especially foreign-based learners, because they don't have documents. So someone can say, I've got this number of learners, they don't have documents. So you don't want to jeopardize the education system. So the reason why we want to migrate to a fully fledged online registration is so that we can account for every learner, and the budgeting team can start to do proper budgeting and allocation. But if you don't have proper numbers, I can tell you, the education system is about numbers, a number of learners. Remember, we give each learner almost 1,077 rand. Now, how much?
Go now to 1,240.
Yeah, 1,240. Every learner in the education system will give you a school, 1,240. So the more learners you have, the more amount of money you get. So sometimes people just take those that they can't even account for them to get the budget. So it's a revolution to us to ensure that everyone is on the online registration so that we don't have problems.